Hello, welcome back. I'm Uriel, and today I'm joined with one of my instructors, Scott Boudreau, multiple time Pan Ams and world champion at purple and brown belt, correct?
Blue belt, twice at purple, once at brown.
Yes. So yeah, he's been around. He's excellent instructor, excellent competitor. And yeah, I wanted to get him here to talk about setting goals when going on your jiu-jitsu journey. But before that, let's talk to Scott. How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing really good today.
Yeah, we just finished a shooting session for Scott's new website, madtap.com.
That's correct.
Yeah, so I'll have the link in the description below. But how long you've been a lifelong martial artist, haven't you?
Pretty much. I've been doing martial arts since 9 years old, so now I'm 43. That's a long time in my life.
Yeah. Well, you started with Kyokushin karate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, how'd you make the change from Kyokushin to Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, it's Jiu-Jitsu since the first UFCs. I've always, watching Royce Gracie has always intrigued me. And at that time, there was nowhere that I could find to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I had to go to the library to take out books that said Jiu-Jitsu, but it was all Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, and I didn't even know. So it's like all these strange locks from standing up that look more like self-defense. But I practiced them anyways. And I had a few buddies that we would just roll around in the living room for fun. And of course, I never developed any skills at that time. But it took many years of I continued to train Kyokushin. And a good friend, Mike Hansen, we all know Mike. He's finally he talked me into going to try a class with him. And I got beat up so bad that immediately I knew that it was something I wanted to master and learn. I fell in love with it immediately. And it's after all these years, I feel even more passionate about jiu-jitsu.
I feel the same way since the first day I got here.
It's incredible.
Just training. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think? How has Kyokushin helped you develop your jiu-jitsu game?
Well, Kyokushin is it's a martial art where you learn. I would in one word, it's discipline. It's when you say you're going to do something, you actually do it to the fullest. You do your best. You're at your best. You don't take any corners. You're going to do everything that you have to do. So I developed a good work ethic from Kyokushin and good body coordination and toughness. In Kyokushin, it's like all bare knuckle fighting, and there's no pad work, and you're hitting each other as hard as you can. So you're going to end up being pretty tough. So jiu-jitsu is not as painful. It's a lot easier to deal with than of course you feel uncomfortable in jiu-jitsu, but you don't feel the same type of pain as you do like in Kyokushin.
Definitely. So when I first started, when I came in, I was basically just following the class and just rolling without any care in the world, not really thinking about setting goals during my rolls. One of the things I learned was setting goals while you're rolling here in class, setting small achievable goals. So what do you think about that?
I think that's really smart because jiu-jitsu is not just about what the instructor is teaching you, it's about what you are developing as an art for yourself. So it sounds complicated, but that's what jiu-jitsu is, and that's the beauty of it. It turns you into an artist of expression, right? So once you realize you're developing your style in jiu-jitsu, you get more interested in what you're doing in class for rolling. You get more interested in maybe modifying what the instructor is teaching you to be more what your style is like. So during my white belt stage, it was just more about I had to do a lot of outside of the class research to solve most of my problems. because my instructor, what he was teaching would always go one ear out the other, and this was for 2 years in a row. I was confused. Anything that he would teach, I would visually, I could absorb it, but to put it together with my body, it just would never happen properly. So after I got my blue belt, my body was able to synchronize with my mind better, and then I started to be able to go, okay, this is what I like doing. I'm a guard passer. You figure out if you're on your back all the time, if that's what you're comfortable with. You figure out if you're on top. So for me, I figured I was I like being on top. So right there, I decided to learn all the guard passes possible. On my knees, double under, over under, how it's done, how other people do it, how I like to do it, and so I always went back and forth between techniques that people show and going back to how I would do it by myself, and eventually you find like a marriage, that just works for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you get to purple belt. For me, purple belt was more like, I felt good about guard. Finally I felt comfortable about the guard. I was intrigued by it. I loved it. I wanted to know all these different types of guards. And one of the reasons was to improve my guard passing. So the more you know about the guard, the better guard passer you're going to be, because you understand all the points, the positions, the way people connect with you. I mean that's a basic goal, I guess, right? Of course, there's smaller goals within that.
So what I like to do is, especially around here, whenever we're live sparring, I always try and pick out the opponents that I have a tougher time with, because I already know that I am gonna have a tougher time, and I can work on my weaknesses from there. So maybe they'll have me in side control most of the time, so I know I'll be able to work my side control on the bigger guys that have good side control. And when I get someone around my size, then it doesn't feel as big of a hassle. And then on the smaller, faster, technical guys, I work on heavy pressure and things of that nature. So you gotta, in a classroom setting, I think you have to set those kinds of goals to get your jiu-jitsu to the next level. And I guess the final question is, for competitors out there, what would you say to competitors coming up from white belt and onwards?
Yeah, I think I noticed a lot of new competitors seem to never feel ready to be a competitor. They're always asking, saying, "Oh, I don't think I'm ready." But I can tell when someone wants to compete. I think you just need to get in and do it, right? There's no one's ready to start competing. You just have to have the balls to go out there and fight and lose possibly, or win. And you got to be able to. You cannot look at it as your purpose to win a medal. I think your purpose to compete needs to be more about learning process. And I've always treated it sounds pretty cliche, but that's how I always approach my tournament fighting. Of course, you always want a gold medal. Absolutely. That's for the feeling of glory. But there's something more valuable to learn from tournament fighting. It's how good you're becoming, how better you're becoming. Are you able to make friends with people you fight with? Are you able to coach your team at the same time you're competing? And just all kinds of stuff like that. It's not just about trying to win a fight. So yeah, I think for a brand new competitor, I think it's just you gotta ask yourself, do you want to compete? And if the answer is yes, then you're ready. Then you're ready, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. No one feels ready at first. You don't feel ready, but you want to do it. If the answer is no, you don't want to compete, don't. Just stay in class and just have fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Scott, for joining me this week. And I'll have all the links to his social media accounts and madtap.com
I appreciate it. Thank
in the description box below. But thanks for joining us this week. Please like and subscribe, and roll safe. Take care.